Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I am the Budgeting SD, and today we're going to be doing my unstuffing, sinking funds update, and cash exchange, bill exchange, condensing video for the end of February. This is going to be hopefully a really exciting video, but I do want to apologize in advance because the lighting is probably going to be changing quite frequently and dramatically throughout this video because the weather where I live today, we are kind of in that like early spring, but also still sometimes it's bad weather. So like right now the sun is like trying to come through, but there's clouds out there, so it's just really kind of going in and out. So apologies in advance if that bothers you throughout this video. Disclaimer, I am a cashless cash stuffer, so most of the bills you're going to see in this video are going to be prop bills, though I am going to be today unstuffing my all cash binder that I'm going to be using to give to my family that I live with to pay them for my rent for this month. So if you want to see that, please keep watching, but we're just going to go ahead and jump right into the video here by starting with our unstuffing. So I am actually going to start here in my expenses and savings binder. We're going to pull out my fixed expenses, and I'm using my Lily budget book up here to track all my expenses on. It's really important, whether you're a real cash stuffer or a prop cash stuffer, to make sure you keep up with everything that's coming out as well as everything, not just only everything coming in. And everything, this budget book, everything from all Etsy sellers I have anything from is always linked in the description box down below, by the way. All right, so our first fixed expense we have to pull from here is my gym membership. So that's going to be coming out today. My iCloud storage is going to be coming out of our subscriptions here. Housing, I call my rent essentially, that's going to be coming out, and then my health insurance premium is going to be coming out today as well. So we're just going to mark those off all here on my little bills tracker in the front of my binder. And we will start with our housing envelope here. So that is my $400 that I pay in like rent, utilities, housing costs of staying with them. Like I said, this is actually, though this is prop money, this is actually not coming out of the bank. This is in real cash that I have all set aside to give to them, but for the purposes of my stuffings, I also have been stuffing the prop bills in here. So we're just going to pull those out, put them over here. And from insurance, I need to pull, as I said, my health insurance premium, which is currently $297. So we're just going to do two 100s, 50, 70, 90, 95, and then these two ones for $297 there. So I'll cross that off. And there is 42 left in there. This makes sense because it's my first half of March's car insurance. Car payment, we will come back to this later. Student debt, we don't pull anything. Phone bill, but going to memberships, that is where we have to pull $10 for my Planet Fitness membership. So that's going to be 2 5s there for $10, and that still has 20, 40, 60, 80, 85, 87, and 89 left in memberships. And subscriptions is down here. That's for my iCloud storage I pay for, which is just $1 a month. So we're just going to pull that in this one back here in the back, and it still has 5, 10, 12, and 14 just ready to go for next month's YouTube premium. All right, and then onto my variable expenses. Starting with gas, we budgeted $25, and I actually spent $0 of this because this was in the pay period where I got my new car. So, and they made sure I had a full tank of gas. I'll talk more about my car in a minute, by the way. when we come to that sinking fund. But yeah, so I didn't have to put any more gas in it in this pay period because it was good to go. So, and then for groceries, I budgeted $200 as per usual, and I spent $179.26. So that was a leftover of $25, by the way, in gas, of course, and $20.74 for groceries. And for spending, this is any kind of personal spending, eating out, personal care, things like that. I did overspend in this category. I just budgeted $100, but I knew I was going to have the extra $25 from gas and from my groceries. So I spent $142.47, which was negative $42.47. But if you added that together with the $45.74 from gas and groceries, I was actually in the positive by $3.27. Just between those guys, I do kind of add those all together. Just because sometimes I call them variable expenses because sometimes you spend more on one category than the other. Sometimes you spend less in another category, etc., etc., etc. So that is it for my expenses. All those are all unstuffed. And then we will move along to my sinking funds that we need to unstuff, starting in my long-term sinking funds binder. And we will go right back to my car sinking fund here. So, yes, I did go and lease a car finally. If anybody's curious, it's a Toyota Camry. I really, really am liking it so far. Yeah, my car was definitely not going to make it much longer. So it needed to be done. So, I mean, it was without having to pay to get my old car worked on, and I would have rather saved more money for more car payments on my new car rather than spend it on maintenance on a car that I wasn't going to keep for much longer anyways. So, the day of, we have what we have in here. This is going to be kind of complicated to unstuff because I've got my fully funded $2,000 that I had saved last year for that. And then this 20, 30, and 40 is from this year, what we've stuffed in here so far. So my first lease payment is the only thing I had to pay that day. And my lease payment is $515. It is actually, for like the lease payment itself, it's $495. I did purchase gap insurance as well for $20 a month, so that's what brings it up to $515. It is a higher payment because I did not put anything down on the car. I kind of did my research beforehand, and a lot of people were saying don't put much of anything down on a lease payment, because if something happens to the car early on, you just lose that money. You don't get it on back. So, or just even over the whole life of the lease. And he showed me the numbers of like what it would bring my monthly payment down to if I only put like $1,000 down. And it didn't even barely bring the lease payment down. So I just decided not to put anything down. And again, that's just more of this money that I can cover more payments with if need to. I do still need to go and actually register it as well. So I'm interested to see how much that's going to cost, because I've heard it can be very, very expensive to first register a new car. So I also wanted to make sure I had plenty of money left over for that. So we are pulling out that $515 for that first lease payment that already came out of my account. And then what I'm going to do is pull out my next lease payment for the 12th of March, so that I already have that ready to go and I don't have to save that up and pull that from my next month's income, and put that in my car payment envelope in my expenses and savings binder. And then I also have had to pay my first month's premium on my new insurance, which actually only went up to $85. It was $77 before, you guys, for my 2012 Chevy Malibu, and it only went up to $85 a month. And I literally don't understand how. But anyways, so I paid that. on the 13th to make sure that that car was insured. So I pulled that out of here as well, because obviously I wasn't, saving up for that yet. And then I'll start saving up for 85 next month, but it should be a little bit lower than 85 next month because it should be prorated for only the days of February that I actually used it, if that makes sense. So anyways, let me grab my calculator actually real quick to kind of show you guys the math here. But so what we have in car, like I said, is that $2,040. So $2,040. And we're going to subtract our $515 first lease payment we already paid, our $85 and our car insurance we already paid, and another $515 for next month's car payment. So we should be left with $925 in here after we've unstuffed it. So what I will do is I will put these two 10s down, keep this 20, I'll grab a 5, and then I'm going to put this fully funded placeholder down and grab, I've got one over here ready to go, a $500 one. And then, so that's $525, then we need to add back in 4 100s, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this will just be already condensed here, but 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 25. 925 is what we are left with in car. And let me see how many 100s actually are we left with. Okay, so then that is the only, should be the only thing I have to pull from in this binder. So let me cross this off and we will go put that $515 into my expenses and savings binder. So going back to car payment, we're going to grab, I think it should be all these 100s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, and 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15. Yes. So that's $515 now ready to go here in my car payment envelope for March's car payment. All right, last but not least, for the unstuffing, I need to go into my short-term sinking funds binder here. And we will go back to clothing here, because as you see, I do have a couple transactions here. I ended up buying a purse from Kate Spade. I love it so much. I needed a new one so bad. And yeah, a coworker of mine got one recently and mentioned it, and I was just like, okay, now's the time to look. And they were having a super, super good sale. So for a really, really nice purse, I got that for $148.30 in total. And then I also bought some earrings off of Amazon actually, but that was $50 for those. So, and then I am putting to cushion to round this up to an even 200. I'm putting $1.70 to my cushion. So we are just pulling out an even 200 today. So that's going to be this 100 and these 250s. So is left with 20, 30, and that will just already also be condensed here, but we'll come back to that later. So, and that 170 got added to that $3.27 that I have right here to go into, to equal $4.97 going into, that's rollover essentially, and I'm just going to round that up to $5, and that's going to go back into my expenses and savings binder here, into my savings envelope here as part of this $500 savings challenge that I'm currently doing. Again, this is linked down below, or the shop it's from at least is linked down below. So we are going to cross off, let's see if I can find a 5 here. Let's do this one right here. And then put a 5 in here. And we'll come back to count and condense that here in a minute. that concludes the unstuffing for today. So we are going to count the bills that we have up here and see how much we unstuffed today. But I'm going to add back in that fully funded here. So we essentially should have theoretically unstuffed 2001, 50, 200, 50, 70, 93, 10, 25, 6, 7, and 8, 3,000, 2,328 there. And what I'm going to do, let me put this back, but I'm going to add in, take out the 2,000 and add in some other placeholders here that I will be using to condense here. That should I maybe add up to 2,000. This one's going to be a little bit of a messier video, you guys. I've been really busy at work and stuff lately. I actually last week finally did that certification course for dermaplaning that I've been waiting to do for a while. So that was an extra day on top of my normal work week. And yeah, things have just been a little hectic lately. So hopefully this video isn't too kind of like crazy and nonsensical. But anyways, we will move right along to the sinking funds update and condensing. All right, on my page here, and we will start by actually going back into that savings binder because we will condense those first here. So for a head, that is still fully funded at 1,500, so there's no change there. This is part of my emergency savings. Cushion, yes, so that would equal 500 because with cushion, I didn't have enough. I have $500 in here, and I was for a while making change out of here, but I haven't needed to for a while since starting to use my savings challenge instead of my cushion for rollover and whatnot. So let's see, let me find that. I think it's right there. Yeah, 500. So there's still 500 in here for my update here, so that's zero change there. But I'm gonna take these, I condensed these down off camera to 5/100s, and I'm gonna take those out and put in a fully funded slip because I didn't have enough 500s. But we're just gonna write there $500 fully funded. But that's kind of nice because I bought these partially because I wanted to know, you know, just by looking at it, which of these, what of my categories are fully funded. So yeah, as far as my savings go, they are gonna kind of have like a end goal, and then once I reach that goal, I'm gonna, you know, stop stuffing them unless I make a new goal for them. So yes, but yeah, cushion is good at 500. I haven't needed to pull a lot from this in a while. This is for me kind of just like a generic catch-all, like a little bit of money for like some wiggle room that's just not quite dipping into my emergency fund. If for me, I have a variable income, so for me, just having that little bit of money there for like if I miss a day at work or you know, something like that, since I'm not salaried, I can kind of make up for it with my cushion and then just refund it back up to that 500. All right, going to rainy day. This is another part of my emergency savings. So ahead is like my kind of month ahead is, yeah, I think I'm just 1 month ahead in there right now. So that's my month ahead essentially to make sure if I like lost my income for a month at least, I could cover that. Rainy day is more of like my one-off category of like a hospital visit or a big car repair or something like that. I like to separate them just because I like to make sure I have my at least 1 month ahead, ideally, you know, so if I can use all my rainy day without having to reach into that. Like I could even use my cushion and my rainy day together, for instance. But yeah, if at all costs, I can at least keep a month's worth of expenses at all times. That's kind of the goal there. But yeah, in here we are doing this savings challenge right up here to try to get this back up to the 1,500 I had it at last year. And then I'm actually going to, I might as well maybe talk about it now. I'm actually going to change my goals for this. So I think I am going to bring rainy day back down to just 1,000, your kind of classic emergency fund. And then I'm going to raise ahead because now with my car payment, especially, it's added, of course, to my monthly expenses. So I think I'm going to raise this up. And I can't remember how much I decided on. I think 3,500 from 1,500. So I'm going to move once I finish this savings challenge the first time around. I'm going to move the 500 into here and then we'll be at 2,000. And then I'm going to do that savings challenge one more time for 1,500 and then we'll be at that goal. So then for a total between rainy day, cushion, and ahead, we should be at $5,000, which I'm very, very excited about. And hopefully will be happening sooner rather than later. So stick around if you want to see me complete that as soon as possible. But yes, anyways, rainy day, we ended last month with $300. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 57, 720, 45, and 750. So yes, we are already halfway through this when we started it in January and it's the end of February. And that is a positive 450 we added there. So let's see. So we are going to keep a 200s, 2 100s, and a 50. And then the rest of this should all be 500. 1, 2, 3, 4, 50, 70, 95, and 500. So all of this is going to go down. And we are going to grab a $500 placeholder just to kind of thin out this envelope a little bit. So 5, 6, 7, 50 still in rainy day. I'm sorry about my iPad, you guys, but it's slow on battery. And then for savings, where was that? We ended last month with 46. The goal is just to do this $500 by the end of the year. So we have a while on this one. 20, 40, 50, 65, 75, 80, 82, 3, and 84 is what we have now. Which, I don't know if I can do that math off the top of my head. Let's see, 38. I will correct myself later if that is not right, but positive 38, I believe in there. So 84, so we're going to keep a 30, 30, and then 2, 3, and 4. Oh, 1 second. 30, oh my goodness, 34. And then this should be 50, 20, 35, 45, and 50. So I don't think I have any 2s here. Yeah, they're just all 1s. So I can't condense that, but I might just do that off camera. But yeah, that is still 84 in there, and that is it for my savings. So moving along to my sinking funds, we'll start back in that long-term sinking funds binder. All right, and starting with annual bills, we ended last month with $10. We now have 10, 15, and 20 in there, so that is just a positive 10. And we are just going to put down this 10 and 2 5s for a 20 there. And business is going to be the exact same here. So 10 now has 20, positive 10. Putting these down for a 20. Okay, car, we already condensed, but I will write the in here for you. So we started with 2020 in there. We now have 925. And let me grab my calculator actually. I just don't even want to try that. So 2020 minus 925 by $1,095. But that was a very expected and, in my opinion, very needed expense. So that is car. And then moving along to home, you might be able to tell I got a new home envelope recently from Kristen from Intentional Living. I've got her little business card here, and I wanted to show you that she gives out a little $2 bill in every order, which is so cute. Mine, I'm like shocked that I've gotten multiple orders from her that the $2 bills are usually in like pristine condition because like usually nobody uses them. So I'm like literally shocked that it looks like this. But I mean, I'm probably not gonna ever spend this anyways. So I don't mind it all, but I just was like, what happened to this $2 bill? Like, what life has this lived? So that's kind of funny. But yeah, I got these envelopes from her because I really like they're more of a different like zipperless style there. Because usually for like the 2 envelopes I got it for, I also got it for my travel envelope back here. I bought it for the envelopes basically that I have like tabs from her for, and I just took my tabs out of my home envelope because for this one I'm doing this savings challenge in here, and I was just finding that with the tabs, because I stuff it in such small denominations, it was just getting way too thick for the envelope. But I'll put them back in there eventually. But yeah, I just like the really simple style and not having the zippers. So anyways, in home, we started last month with 1,000, or started this month with 1,315. We are ending with 1,000, 1, 2, 3, 54, 5,500, 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 95, 600, 5, and 10. 1,000, oops, 1,610, which I believe would be, so 295, a positive 295, I believe, is what we have there. So once again, we're going to keep that 1,000, of course. We're going to keep a 10 and a 100. And then the rest of this should be 500. 1, 2, 53, 54, 20, 40, 60, 70, 85, 95, and 500. So we're going to put that all down for another $500 placeholder. I swear I've like never needed so many $500 placeholders in one video before. I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, so 1,510, 1,610, then still in home. All right, moving along to medical. Medical started with 320 and has 1, 2, 3, 20, 30, 40. So that is a positive 20 in there. So we're just going to put down these 2 10s. 420. 1, 2, 3, 20, 40 is still in there. Pet care. Pet care started with 200 and is ending with 1, 2, 50, 300. So positive 100 in there. And we're just going to take 2 50s for 100. 1, 2, 3 in there. And then last but not least, for travel, we ended the last month with 1,000. And this is another reason I liked these zipperless ones, because I can just reach in there and just pull out from one tab without the others. Because everything else is already condensed. Trip has a $500 placeholder in there. Food has 250 and Misc has 250. So we are just condensing stay, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 50, 500. So 500, 1,000, 250, and 500 means we have 1,500 in travel. So that's a positive 500 for the month. And we are just putting all this down for yet another $500 placeholder here. and stay. All right, that is that for that binder. And we will go into my short-term sinking funds here. All right, starting with adventures, should be at the top, yes. We started the month with 85, and adventures now has 50, 70, 85, 95. So 95, so that is plus 10 in there, and we are just going to put down a 10 and 2 5s for 20 to still have 95. Clothing is essentially condensed already, but I'll pull it out again just to show you. And clothing, and it started with 65, so that is a negative, I believe, 35 in there, which honestly doesn't seem that bad with how much we spent out of there. I think giving is right underneath. Yes, began with 60 and now has 50, 70, 90, and 100 in there, which is a positive 40. So we're putting all of this down for a 100. In giving, holidays also started with 60 and now has 50, 65, and 70, which is a positive 10 in there. Putting down this 10 and 2 5s for 20 and 70, still in holidays. Household started the month with, I think that's household, yes, started the month with 10, is ending the month with 10. So that's a $0 change, and putting those down for a 10. Miscellaneous started with 290 and has 1, 2, 50, 70, 93, and 305 in there. So that is just a positive 15. And let's see, this is all good. So we should be just putting down this 50, 2 20s, and a 10 for a 100. To still have 305 in there. All right, pamper has 50, 70, 90, 100, 5, and 10. 110. When we started with 230, so that's a minus 120 in there, and we're just again, oh, actually, we're going to keep a 10, and then 50, 70, 95, 100 for a $100 bill. 110 still in there. All right, and that's it for all my envelopes. The only category we have left, which I'm going to grab my calculator real quick anyways here, but we started the month with 604 in my Roth IRA, and I went back and checked. We are ending with 624 in there, so that is a positive 20 in my Roth IRA, just what is gained by like market value, the stock market. I am not currently actively adding anything into that account. Okay, so that is everything. Actually, what we are going to do, I guess what we should do first here is count all these bills up here. I got a little too trigger happy here. So we're going to count this. Not as satisfying with being prop bills, but still a really big chunk there. But if we did everything correctly, this should be that 2,328, I believe, is what we said at the beginning here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000, 1,200. And you know what? I changed my mind. I am going to use my calculator for this because it's just so many bills. Okay. I usually don't like to do this because it's not super satisfying to me, but there's just so much money here, you guys. I'm going to do it. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 5,700, 750s, 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, and 20s. It's like kind of weird how we've only had like even numbers so far. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 110, 110 and 10s. 5, 10, 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, 105, 10, 15, 115 and 5s, and 1, 2, 3 and 1s. Means we do have that 2,328 that we started with, which is great. And then we are going to add up all of these totals we have here at the end and see how much we still have in our sinking funds and savings here. So 95, 1,500, 20, 20, 95, 30, 500, 100, 70, 16, 10, 340, 305, 110, 300, 750, 624, 84, and 1,500 gives us a total of $8,893. And I'm going to go double check myself, actually make sure I did that right. Okay, yes, that is correct. And we ended last month with $8,625. So we are still in the positive by $268, which I think, given the fact that we spent over $1,000 from my car sinking fund, I think that is fantastic, because essentially, theoretically, if I hadn't spent that, we'd be at a positive $1,268 or around there. So we still saved a lot this month. It just doesn't show necessarily with the numbers always here. So what I'm going to do now, just for funsies here at the end, is show you guys me unstuffing my all cash binder. All right, so like I said, the goal in here was to save up $400, and we were able to reach that $400 by the end of this month with help, a little bit of help from my technical next paycheck. But if I ever can make it work like that in the future, I'm just gonna have to do it, because it doesn't make sense to not just pay it all to them in cash. So yeah, we're just gonna start pulling everything out here, and we'll count it all at the end just for fun. But yes, if you're new here, I do only stuff this binder with my cash tips that I earn, just because I tend to earn about 400 or so in cash tips every single month. So it's not really, enough to do my like stuffings with. Without having to go to the bank still. But like I said, just this way, it's like actually the perfect amount of money, like I said, to pay my family in cash. So it works out. And this binder, I believe, is sold out now. I don't know if she plans to ever make any more, just in case anybody's curious, but it is actually just for $200 if you actually stuff the amount on the envelope. So to get to my 400, I've just been double stuffing every envelope, if that makes sense. So instead of 25 in here, like it actually calls for, I stuffed 20, 45, and 50. So yeah, I just thought this little binder was so cute, and just a slightly more fun way to stuff my real cash than just like keeping it in an envelope somewhere maybe until the end of the month. So, all right, almost done here. I think it's going to kind of be exciting a little bit too to see, like, obviously I think I can tell, like, 5s I have the most of, and then 20s are close up there as well. But just to see how many, like what I get the most denominations of. But all right, that binder is empty, you guys. It's nice and skinny again, and we will start this again in my next stuffing. But let's go ahead and grab all this money up here. Maybe a little bit more exciting for those of you who are used to seeing real cash and cash condensings as well. But all right, so let's give it a count. Make sure it's 400. It should definitely be, but we've got 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 93, 100. Not going to be able to hold that cash all at once, so let's just stop there for a second. 310, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 5, 60, 5, 75, 85, 95, and $400. So this is all going to my family today. Actually, the day that I'm filming this video, I need to give them this month's rent, so it works out perfect to unstuff this today. But other than that, that concludes this video, you guys. Please give it a like if you enjoyed watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. We are trying to get to 500 subscribers as soon as we can. I will be doing some sort of a $500 subscriber or $500 subscriber, 500 subscriber giveaway. I'm kind of trying to decide still what I fully want to do, but yes, I do plan on doing something for 500, so please subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this. And my next video, of course, for those of you who do want to stick around, is going to be my first stuffing for March. So yes, please stick around for that. And with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and your week until I see you again. And I will see you guys later.